Today, we're diving straight into the absolute heart-pounding, historic opening match of the 2010 FIFA World Cup. We're going to unpack the raw intensity of that incredible game between South Africa and Mexico. We really want to feel every single ounce of the tension here because we're talking about a moment that went way, way beyond sports. This was a moment that literally captured the attention of the entire globe. But hey, before a single ball is even kicked, we've got to talk about the atmosphere. The commentary actually called it a deafening, utterly deafening racket of the thousands of horns that scream out around the stadium. And honestly, that's hitting the nail on the head. This sheer auditory assault, the iconic vuvuzelas, right? It set up this unprecedented electric stage for the opening clash. It was just this massive wall of sound that no visiting team could ever truly prepare for. And what's generating all that incredible noise? 84,490. That is the exact number of screaming, hoping, and, let's be honest, incredibly anxious fans packed into Soccer City Stadium. They are there witnessing history happening right in front of them, the very first World Cup match ever held on African soil. You could practically cut the anticipation in the air with a knife. So, part one, the historic stage is set. Let's look at exactly what was on the line here. To truly appreciate the stakes, you have to understand the staggering pressure resting on the host team's shoulders. It wasn't just about putting on a good show, it was about carrying the hopes of an entire continent against a seriously formidable opponent. This was a classic David versus Goliath scenario. There's a massive gulf in class here. You've got the South Africans, ranked 83rd in the world with only 3 World Cup appearances, stepping onto the pitch against the Mexicans, who are sitting comfortably at 17th and making their 14th appearance. On paper, Mexico are the overwhelming favorites, no question. And the pre-match context is just incredibly loaded. Alongside the historic weight of Africa's very first World Cup, you have the legendary coach Carlos Alberto Pereira leading his 5th different nation into the tournament. He desperately needs his squad to control their nerves against both the Mexican 11 and, frankly, their own roaring emotions. Oh, and adding another layer of firsts, we have a 32-year-old referee, Ravshan Armato from Pakistan, making his World Cup debut. The stage is set, and man, attention is just palpable. Which brings us to part 2, surviving the Mexican storm. As soon as that first whistle blows, those South African nerves immediately show. The host nation is instantly forced into a desperate, frantic battle just for survival. It really is a backs-to-the-wall start for the South African defense. Those opening 45 minutes, absolute dominance by Mexico. The hosts are literally scrambling, throwing bodies on the line just to keep the ball out of their net, as wave after wave of Mexican attacks keeps crashing against them. Mexico's relentless attack is being spearheaded by the sublime talents of players like Giovanni dos Santos. He's out there, skipping past defenders on the flanks with this quickness and balance that leaves the South African defense totally at 6s and 7s. And then you have Guillermo Franco applying incredibly dangerous pressure up top, constantly testing the backline and forcing frantic clearances. So you might be wondering, how on earth did South Africa actually survive this onslaught? Well, 2 words for you: Itumeleng Khune. The South African goalkeeper absolutely anchors the defense with spectacular, sprawling saves. If it wasn't for Khune stretching out his arms and legs to deny sure goals, especially that stunning fingertip save against Dos Santos, this match could have easily slipped completely away from the host nation before halftime. And somehow, despite Mexico holding a commanding 61% possession at one point and completely dictating the tempo, South Africa miraculously claws their way to the halftime whistle deadlocked at 0. They bent, but they absolutely did not break. But as we move into the second half, this story of pure survival transforms. It turns into an absolute emotional roller coaster of dramatic history-making moments. The whole dynamic of the game is about to completely flip, as we'll see with some huge moments at the 55th, 79th, and 90th minutes. Part 3, Tshabalala's golden breakthrough. Exactly 10 minutes into the second half, the game fundamentally shifts. Mexico pushes forward, leaving just a tiny pocket of space at the back. And boom, South Africa launches a lightning-fast counterattack down the left side that will echo through soccer history forever. In the 55th minute, the moment arrives. Siphiwe Tshabalala breaks clear. The pass is absolutely perfect, the touch is sublime, and he fires a legendary, thundering left-footed strike past the goalkeeper right into the top corner to take the lead. It's a magnificent finish that instantly turns the nail-biting tension of 84,000 fans into pure, unadulterated euphoria. And what makes this brilliantly scripted moment even better is the context. Think about this. Tshabalala achieved this golden breakthrough while earning his 50th cap for South Africa. It was only his 7th international goal, but wow, it could not have come at a more massive, poetic moment in his career and in his country's history. The sheer scale of the emotion is just overwhelming. Like the commentary famously captured it, the whole stadium is on its feet. The whole nation will rejoice. It is the ultimate dream realized for the home nation. Think about it. An 83rd ranked underdog, drawing first blood against a highly favored 17th ranked opponent on the world's biggest stage. It's exactly the kind of sporting magic that truly gives you goosebumps. Moving into part 4, a dramatic, nail-biting finish. Of course, a 1-0 lead against the 17th ranked team in the world is never safe, right? Almost immediately after the goal, Mexico shakes off the shock and turns up the urgency. The final 30 minutes turn into a grueling test of South Africa's stamina and concentration, and unfortunately for the hosts, in the 79th minute, that concentration slips. A completely exposed defense following a cross allows Rafael Marquez to equalize. Now, while the young guns of Mexico had been leading the attack all day, it was the 31-year-old veteran Marquez who cleverly found himself in the right place at the exact right time, totally unmarked, to break South African hearts and sidefoot the ball home to tie the game. From that equalizer onward, the final 10 minutes are just pure chaos. Mexico throws on the legendary 37-year-old Cuauhtemoc Blanco for his 117th cap, and they're desperately pushing for a win, swinging these really dangerous crosses into the box. South Africa is forced into desperate defensive clearances, but simultaneously, they're still hunting for one last lethal counterattack. The game is wildly open, and it is beautifully frantic. And then we get the ultimate heart-stopping moment. In the 90th minute, literally in the dying seconds of the game, South Africa's Katlego Mfila uses his blistering pace to break free. He beats the goalkeeper, the entire nation holds its breath, only to exhale in massive disappointment as the ball strikes the outside of the upright. Oh man, it was mere inches away from being one of the most famous game winners in World Cup history. Shortly after that unbelievable near miss, the referee blows his final whistle on what was a highly balanced, lively, and open ending. The match officially finishes in a 1-1 draw. It really was a game of two halves, wasn't it? Mexico totally dominated the first, but South Africa found their footing, scored a historic goal, and fought valiantly to the very bitter end in the second. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this provocative thought to ponder. Considering that massive gulf in FIFA rankings, the sheer dominance of Mexico in the first half, and the crushing, totally unprecedented weight of history on the home team's shoulders, was escaping with a point the true victory for South Africa that day? They didn't just survive the Mexican storm, they proved they belonged on the world stage. Thanks for joining me to unpack this incredible moment in sports history.